Johnson Turgut, Volkan Er, Doruk Çeliktutan, Hüseyin Şakmar, Atalay Alcan, Enes Erten, Presley Salman Sofrain.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to St Mary's Sports Ground here for this second day of the Emerging Nations World Championships. I'm Dan McCanley and I'm here with Dave Wild, and we're going to be calling Japan versus Turkey. And it's a good afternoon to you, Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. It's good to be here. The conditions probably aren't as flash as what I'd hoped when I got the call up, but yeah, it looks pretty good. The ground's in good nick. I'm looking forward to a good game of footy.
Yeah, it should be a good game. The Japanese on their Facebook page are declaring this the Turkish war, so they'll definitely be up for this one. And Turkey were impressive winners on day one here against the Solomon Islands. They ran out 30 points to 22 winners in their first official match as a Turkish national team.
Well, if the physicality of this game is anything like the one before, then quite looking forward to it. I'm looking at the teams lined up centre field at the moment, and the Japanese side certainly are the smaller of the two. Whether or not that takes a toll during the game, we'll wait and see.
As we get the national anthems underway. The national anthems of both nations, so I'm going to quickly run through the Japan side before kickoff. In the 1 we have Sean Gabides. In the 15 we have Keisuke Nakai. In the 16 Futoshi Karino. In the 17 Yuki Mochizuki. In the 5 Jay Brown. In the 6 Kenta Karino. In the 7 Kenshi Tsutsui. In the 22 Douglas Streeter. In the 9 Kazuki Fukushige. In the 10, Hiroshi Fukasawa. In the 11, Amani Kanishi. In the 12, Lachlan Grieve. 13, Emamaki Shibasaki. In the 3, Koei Ishikawa. 14, Akihito Kashiwawaba. 19, Teo Sugano. And 21, Riji Sano. And that was a tongue twister.
And the Turkish side, there's quite a few changes to the program. In 9, we've got Alpa Karabor. 17, Alakan Akar. 2, Errol Carter. 4, Arda Dulcik. 26, Jaden Salmon Cochran. And 7, Aidan Salmon Cochran. 8 is Adam Bascognali. 6, Ali Bokian Surur. 10, Yusuf Daggan Nassar. 33, Volkan 13, Jansen Turgut. 20, Ata Dorik Selektutan. 21 Hussein Sasmaz, 19 Atale Alkay, and 12 NS Ertan. And I apologise if I've got any of those wrong, which I'm certain that I did.
Big effort there, Dave. Well done. Yeah, very impressive first up, Turkey. They led 30 points to 6 late on against the Solomon Islands and then probably clocked off in the last 10 minutes, and the Solomon Islands made it a bit closer than what it probably should have been at 30 points to 22. Harder Dalsic was outstanding on Monday, scoring 2 tries, and he hits like a freight train as well in defence, so we'll be looking for a big game from him today. And the Salmon Cochrane brothers in the halves, affectionately known as JSC and ASC for the commentators out there. Aiden scored 2 tries on Monday as well, so he'll be looking for another big game steering the ship as Turkey will get us underway here at St Mary's Oval. There's the kick-off. Japan try to trap it with their feet. Turkey might get the ball back here, and they do so. So great start for Turkey. Jaden Salmon Cochrane comes up with the ball. Is he over the line? No, held up. Well, what a start for Turkey off the kick-off.
Well, I'm not sure they've looked at his touchy there because it looked, albeit from a distance, as though he got that down, but tackle 1.
Turkey will play the ball now 10 metres out from the line. Probably weren't expecting this sort of possession early on. It's Baskanyali now. He'll be brought down a metre out from the line. So come to the right through the big man, Dagdanasar. He's pushed back. Good defence from Japan on their goal line. Plenty of tackles up their sleeve here for Turkey. So come to the right through the hands. That's the 20s. Selik Tutan. Good numbers in defence from Japan. And a penalty goes to Turkey as well, so gift 2 points here if they want it. Well, they might look to take the tap and keep the pressure on.
Very interesting decision early up. It looks like they are going to take. Oh no, they're going to take the tap.
Baskanyali now with the first hit up. Tackled 5 out from the line, centre field. Options both sides here for Turkey. They go from dummy half. Does he get it down? I think he does. There's first points for Turkey. That's 4 points to 0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, just a little dart out of dummy half.
Alpa Karabor getting over.
Possession going to the Turkish side probably unexpectedly, and they made the most of it. Tried probably 10 yards to the left of the post, kick to come.
Yeah, not the start Japan would have wanted. This is their first game of this tournament, and just let that kick-off bounce, and it allowed Turkey to get down and put some pressure on and get the ball back. And Karabor, the 9, in under, well, not underneath the post, but next to them. 4 points to 0 with a kick to come. We've had 2.5 minutes gone here at St Mary's Stadium. So they add the extras. Scoreline reads 6 points to 0, Turkey over Japan here, and we've had 2.5 minutes gone, Dave. Good start for Turkey.
Absolutely. Well, they haven't had the ball yet, Japan, so we're yet to see what they've got, but yeah, they certainly made the most of their opportunity, and there's some real physical specimens in this Turkish side, and you mentioned the 4. He's probably the pick of them. Arda Dalsic, I didn't have the pleasure of watching him play early on in the week, but you said he had a good game. He's certainly built for a rugby league player.
Yeah, he was very impressive. He showed no mercy against the Solomon Islands. Hits hard in defence and runs hard with the ball. So Japan get us back underway. Baskanyali with the first run. There's a little run out of dummy half there from that man we were just speaking about, Dalsic. As they come down the short side now, that's Turgut. He's got Super League experience over in England. He's their skipper. Come back centre field through Dabdanasar. He was a tough man to bring down on Monday, and he looks like he's in the mood again today. Karabor out of dummy half. Last tackle, 40 out from the Japan line. Slow play the ball. So they come to Aiden Salmon Cochrane. He puts it up high. Difficult conditions today for the fullbacks. And as I say that, he's put it down. It's Gabides.
They're in a little bit of trouble here early on, Japan. That was a very good set of 6 from Turkey. They marched upfield probably 50 or 60 yards with ease, and the kick wasn't particularly threatening, but they've bombed it quite literally, and they're under pressure again.
Nice pun, Dave. I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
They put the ball up high, and as you can see on your monitors, if you're watching on Bar TV Sports, it's raining here at St Mary's, and a difficult one to take for the fullback in these conditions. Turkey win the scrum feed and lose possession. So a bit of a let-off there for Japan, Dave.
Yeah, I have to say the half from Japan looked at least 2 or 3 yards offside. But anyway, they've got out of jail there. And in terms of the rain, I was out in it only 5 or 6 minutes ago, and it's much heavier than what it looks. It's quite drenching at the moment. I'm looking at the cameras, and it doesn't appear to be too heavy there, but I can assure you that it is, and it will play an impact in the game.
Japan win the scrum feed now. Their first use of possession for Japan. A couple of errors early on. They'll have to do some hard yards here coming off their own line. And it is an absolute struggle to see the numbers on the backs of those jerseys. As they come down the right-hand side now, shifting the play early. Good defence from Turkey. They read it well. Good tackle 38 from their own line, Japan, as they come back centre field. Straight into the teeth of the Turkish defence. Good numbers in the tackle. Play the ball 30 out. Getting back towards the centre of the field now. You noticed it early on, Dave, the size difference between Japan and Turkey. It looks to be playing a part in that middle third.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a monster side, this Turkish side, particularly their front rower there, the number 10. He's a giant of a man. And you wonder whether it'll play an impact at the back end of the game, or play a part. But at the moment, they're monstering the Japanese side.
Turkey now look to make their way up to halfway. That's Errol Carter. He tackled in Japan territory. Centre field. A little run out of dummy half. Good marker defence though from Japan. That was Ajar coming in for the run. Turkey now. Short ball to Dalsik. Dalsik's through. He's got support on the inside. Turgut. Oh, he spilled his lollies, the skipper. With the try line begging. Great play from Turkey, and Turgut just couldn't hold on to the pass.
Yeah, nice play from your man again, out there on the left. He's quite easily broke through that tackle, and the pass looked okay from here. It was just an error from the captain that bombed that try. I get the feeling there might be some more opportunities in the not too distant future.
It's funny, Turkey have a fair few players as their clubs that are unattached, so, and Dalsik's one of them, so if there's anybody watching these games, he's been super impressive in the first game, and he's started off on the right foot here today. Japan now look to work it out from their own end. Still fighting in the tackle. He looks to have lost his jersey, one of the Japanese players. The ball's wrapped up in it, the old ball up the jersey trick. Used to do that one in the backyard.
They're quite happy to slow it down at the moment, Japan. So just give them a little bit of time to have a bit of a spell, a bit of a breather.
A little run from dummy half there. Up over the 20 now. As they kick early. Trying to get down the other end, Japan. It's a good kick. It's turned the fullback around. Looks like Alpa Karaborg is playing fullback, the 9. You can't beat the first tackler, so a good kick chase from Japan. I've got two people down on my sheet as number 1. It's either Ibrahim Corona or Presley Salmon Cochran. Carter now takes it up over halfway again. It's a 33 Vulcan. 3 defenders takes to put him down. So he's tackled 30 out centre field. Options both sides here for Turkey. So go to Dagdanasar. He beats one. Lovely offload from the big man. That's Sura in support. So this will be the last tackle. 20 out from the line. They go down the short side. Not a lot doing down there. Beats one, beats two. Comes back in field and kicks. It's a decent enough kick. Good kick chase, and they'll force a repeat set. So they go down the short side, put a little kick in, and they get a result.
Yeah, probably a little fortunate there. I don't know that the short side was the right play there. They looked a little short out the side, but Japan, that is. But they've got a result, so they get the ball back and have another crack.
Yeah, danger signs here for Japan. A full set of 6 here for Turkey in the attacking half. It'll be tough to hold out. They can hold on to the ball for the 5 tackles. There's the dropout. Travels 30 on the fly. It's Baskinyali with the run. He's beaten 1, beaten 2, carrying defenders with him. Baskinyali up to the 10. Good run. Puts them right on the front foot, Turkey, as they come down the short side. Dalsik slips over from dummy half. Still beats 1, beats 2. Good tackle. Try saver there. 2 metres out from the line. Play the ball. That's Baskinyali. He can smell the try line. He's put it down, Baskinyali. Great defence from Japan on their goal line.
Yeah, they've done well there. They've hopefully working themselves into the game. They haven't had a lot of opportunities. In fact, I don't think they've been tackled in the Turkish half as yet. But they're hanging in there.
Yeah, certainly hanging tough at the moment, Japan. As you said, Dave, not a lot going on down this other end of the field. It's been all in Japan's defensive half at the moment. Just struggling to get a foothold in the game at the moment, Japan.
Well, they probably just need to consolidate here with a decent set of 6 and a kick chase like the one in the last set, and at least give themselves a little bit of field position. Get the ball out of this end of the field.
They win the scrum. Try and make their way off their own try line now as they go to the left. Cut out pass. They're not afraid to put it through their hands as they find a bit of space out wide. They're up over the 30 now. So as you said, Dave, good opportunity for them to get down the other end.
Yeah, you get the feeling looking at them, they might be dry track specialists, Japan. They don't mind throwing it around. I don't know that the conditions will really suit them today. But that's it, long time to go in the game yet.
Well, they're up over the 40 now, and we've got a player joining us from Japan. We've got Gorka. Thanks for joining us, mate.
You're welcome.
How's Japanese rugby league shaping up?
Well, they're doing well, considering that they were...
Hold the phone, Gorka. We've got a gather of the kick. Well, that's unlucky there for Japan. Just couldn't keep his footing. Sorry about that, mate. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, we are kind of players coming from Japan and other players just living in Australia. We only had like 2 trainings together. That's why it's kind of first game. It's not kind. It's actually first game for us playing together. But we are doing pretty well. Just team needs to start, packing as a team. But we are doing well.
And you're not out there today?
No, I arrived last night. They decided to give me a rest for today. I will be on for Poland game.
And as we see a penalty there to Turkey, getting out of dummy half quickly. So, Japanese rugby league is growing. How do people get involved? Who do they contact?
Well, all of us were rugby union players. Is the main sport talking about rugby in Japan. We got a call. Actually, in my case, I got a call from a friend to play some rugby out of season. That was my first touch with the rugby league, and that was already 4 years ago. And yeah, the team has been increasing numbers. Before, when I joined the rugby league, we were only 2 teams, Warriors and Giants. Since 2 years ago, we also have the Rabbitohs. And every team has new members, which I think is little by little growing, but it will be good to have more players.
Yeah, well, and hopefully this Emerging Nations tournament and Japan playing on this kind of stage will help that competition grow in the future, as Turkey No, we've had a false start at the scrum. So you guys play Poland on Sunday?
Yes.
And you'll be out there for that one?
Yes,
Oh,
Sunday.
good stuff. I look forward to that. Thank you very much for taking the time to
welcome.
join us today, and good luck through the tournament.
Thank you very much.
I thought we saw a scrum go against the feed there, Dave.
Yeah, well, the half looked about 2 or 3 yards offside again, but anyway, they're putting it back in, and probably so they should, but that explains a little bit with the way Japan have started the game in terms of that explanation of them being largely rugby players. So they certainly look to spread the ball a little more like a rugby side would. But it's good to hear that his description of how rugby is back home, and it's increasing in numbers. It's good to see. Tournaments like this will do wonderful things for countries like Japan.
I mentioned it earlier, this is Turkey's second official game, and I was speaking to their president on Monday, and they're talking about their local competition and being involved in the Balkan Rugby League competition. So it's a really good stepping stone for these nations to get involved in Rugby League and grow the game as the big man's through. Dagdanasar, and he'll score, strolls over from close range. That's 10 points to 0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, that was worryingly easy, that one. Barely had a hand laid on him, one off the ruck, and that's worrying signs for the Japanese side, who even early on looked like they might be tiring a little bit.
Well, in their defence, I probably wouldn't want to get in front of Dagdanasar and try and stop him from that close, but...
No, you and me both. I never was particularly favourable on tackling, particularly a fellow that big.
He's a big human being. He showed his size and a good turn of foot there as well to hit that hole. And it'll be Sura to add the extras. We've had 16 minutes gone here in this Emerging Nations World Championships game between Japan and Turkey, and the scoreline reads Japan 0, Turkey 12. Big thank you to Bar TV for streaming this live. They're streaming all the games live throughout this championships. So if you can't get down to St Mary's or Windsor or Cabramatta, make sure you tune in on Bar TV Sports. Let us know who you're cheering for as well. You might be overseas and watching this game. You might be getting a sneaky look in at work. So let us know who you're cheering for and where you're cheering from. As that rain looks to be getting heavier and heavier, Dave.
Yeah, it is. And again, it's going to play a significant role in the game, and probably the games that are later on today too. The ground looks in pretty good nick. I'm not sure what it'll look like come 5 o'clock when the last game, or 7:30 I think it is, when the last game finishes. But yeah, we'll wait and see.
Dalsik takes that kick off, and they come the open side now, Turkey. That's the 20. Selik Tatan, he's up over halfway. Good meters here for Turkey. That's Baskinyali. He'll carry 2 and 3 with him up towards a 30. They come to Salman Cochrane now. He's happy to turn 2, get back under. He's tackled 25 out from the line. They come to the left again, and there's a penalty. So another good opportunity here for Turkey. Not back to 10, Japan.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That was 4th or 5th tackle, very late in the tackle count on a set where Turkey had again just marched upfield. So they're in some trouble here.
Baskinyali now with the run. His front row partners on the score sheet. He'll be looking to do the same. He's tackled. They play the ball. They come to Dagdanasar again. This time Japan get numbers in the tackle. He'll be stopped short of the line. Quick play the ball though from the big man. And another run out of dummy half, and they're over again. That was Sura that time. And Turkey jump out to a 16 points to 0 lead over Japan with just under 20 minutes gone in this first half.
Yeah, and again that was worryingly easy. A mistake in the form of a penalty got Turkey the ball down here and put another 4 points on the board in I would say pretty much the same blade of grass as their first try, so which he kicked quite easily. So I'd expect him to get this one over, make it 18-0. 19 minutes gone.
Yeah, they've just been that little class above at the moment, Turkey. Getting through their sets. Handling will be an issue, as you said, Dave, today, like right now and later on. They seem to be holding onto the ball well and getting through their sets, and that's enabling them to build pressure.
Well, they're just too big. just too big for Japan at the moment, and I can't really see how Japan can get themselves into the game at this point.
And it's a pleasure to introduce a former New South Wales and Australian great, Willie Mason, is joining us here in commentary. Hey Willie, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, good Willie. What brings you down here to St Mary's?
Mate, been a little bit of stuff with my show, Unfiltered, I do online. We've been doing a bit of stuff with the Polish team, so I was just going out there, just talking to them a little bit, doing a little bit of coaching, and just trying to support this whole thing really, because I think the NRL and the World Rugby League should be supporting it a lot more, and I don't think there's enough support for the whole thing. So I'm just trying to do my little bit to try and get these emerging nations sort of just a little bit of just a little bit of a spotlight, I suppose.
Well, we had Joseph Paulo and Dean Hullatow up here earlier, so it's good to see people and players of your ilk getting involved in these tournaments. It certainly brings a bit of...
I just think this, if you want to make the game a world game, you're going to have teams like Japan and Turkey and all these other emerging countries come into it somehow, and they need to be supported by a governing body with money and all this kind of stuff, because these guys are coming out here and just busting their balls trying to get out here and just to play for Poland or just to play for Japan, and it's we've only got 4 or 5 good nations in rugby league. We're kidding ourselves if we think of it a world game. So I think we need to start looking at these nations, because you've got over 40 nations in the world that play rugby league. So let's start pumping a bit of money into these guys.
Japan on the attack now for the first time today. Good shot in defence there.
Turkey's pretty brutal, I think.
Yeah, Salik Tutan. I saw them on Monday, Willie, and they hit hard, Turkey.
They've got some big boys out there. I've only been here for about 10 minutes. I scored 2 tries, but I think it's wet weather football where you just grab the ball. They've got some big boys and they're just running straight through the middle of them, completing their sets and getting to a kick. So that's basic 101 wet weather football, even with the NRL level or whatever level you play.
Well, Japan have earned themselves a repeat set here, so good play from the Japanese.
Lucky bounce, very lucky bounce. It was great work. I just want to see Japanese complete their sets here, get to the middle somewhere, and probably get another repeat set or get a try. It'd be good for them before half time anyway.
So you said you've been involved a little bit with the Polish team. How are they stacking up for their first game against Hong Kong?
I've seen it. We went out there to Sefton last week and they played against Hungary. Oh God, what a hit! They put a score on. There was about 32-0, and they rested about 4 or 5 of their starters. So I think the Polish team is probably going to be one of the better teams of this competition. I think they'd really match up pretty good with the Turkish side here, because they've got some really big boys and they're pretty tough. So, and they're well coached. So they look the goods.
Well, that form line doesn't read too bad, considering Hungary came out and upset Greece on Monday night in an absolute thriller.
Yeah, I heard that. So and that's what I said. Like with the Polish boys resting about 4 or 5 of their starters. So I think they'll give it a good crack. So I think they've got a lot of players that have played a lot of the State Cup and Intrust Super Cup and a bit of Queensland Cup. They've got some players all around. So they've got experience there and they're well coached.
All right, last but not least, Willie, you mentioned your was it podcast earlier? I'll give it a plug.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's Unfiltered. It's on every single social media thing. It's just myself and Ian Byrne. We get guests on. We just talk about football. We just put a different spin on it. It's not like Fox Sports and all these other things. Definitely not like the footy show. So it's just a bit of fun. We get some players on there. We talk about the game. We talk about other sports. It is unfiltered, so you can say what you want.
All right. Well, a big thank you to Willie Mason for joining us in commentary today, mate. And enjoy the day.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, some good points, mate. There from Willie too, particularly in regards to funding. I can't say I'm particularly privy to details in terms of what's supplied to these nations, but it is important to develop them as much as we can.
Well, we heard earlier on from New A that they've been fundraising to get their team together. So if we can't get behind these emerging nations to grow the game, as Turkey with a nice offload, and there's Turgut puts a little kick in. Japan look like they'll get across and cover, and they do so. And they'll get it back, Japan, and they've found some open pastures here. They spread it wide and just couldn't hold on to that last pass. Enterprising play there from Japan.
Absolutely, there was an acre of space in front of him if he took it too.
There's a knock on as well from Turkey, so Japan having their best minutes here. The last 5 or so minutes have been good for Japan.
Willie actually made the point when he was on speaker that the brutality of the Turkish side now. Japan managed to get themselves a drop out there a few minutes ago, and the ferocity in the first 3 or 4 tackles of that set. We're behind a pane of glass here, and we could almost hear it. It was very, very physical, and the pain on some of the Japanese faces was quite evident, even from 20 or 30 metres away. They're a very big, they're a very, very physical team.
Yeah, they did the same thing against the Solomon Islands on Monday, Turkey. They really imposed themselves physically against those boys, and the Solomon Islands, to their credit, weathered the storm and really came home with a wet sail in that second half. So Japan can just hang in there and ride this wave of physicality from Turkey. There might be opportunities for them come the second half.
Well, we have said that. The size could work against Turkey as well. I know they're well in front at the moment, but particularly being their second game, one would suspect that they're probably going to tire at some point. Whether or not Japan is still in the game at that point will remain to be seen.
Might be worth me having a word to the Japanese kit manager after this game as well and getting those numbers filled in on the back.
Oh, they're terrible.
Oh.
They're the worst I've ever seen.
I'm wearing glasses and I'm struggling, so that looks like it's 19. Teo Sagano's just made his way onto the field. As the rain continues to tumble down here at St Mary's, and as you said, Dave, the pitch is holding up a treat at the moment. Looks like carpet out there. The ball's gone back off the scrum, so Japan get away with one there and earn themselves a penalty. Chance for Japan to kick into touch and get back into the Turkish half.
Well, they just need to get some footy and a bit of confidence about them. They did have that set, but as I said, they fumbled and bumbled on the first two tackles when they had the drop out, and they never really recovered. They lost the ball on tackle 5, so that was their first real foray into Turkish territory. So hopefully they get a bit of ball down there in the next few minutes and we'll see what they can do.
As they make their way up to halfway here, Japan. The ball's come out the back. It looked to have been stripped, and the referee agrees.
Well, here's their opportunity. No, they should get this about 25, 30 metres out.
Seen a few kicks not fine touch over the last couple of days, Dave, so I'm not willing to call it a certainty.
Oh, hang on.
I nearly called it.
Yeah, you did. And money just went out too.
But you're right, they'll get the ball here, 20 out from the line. We've got a 33 out there for Japan, who we don't have on our sheet. Looks like they'll have to pack a scrum though. Turkey went very close to keeping that ball in the field of play. Japan will retain possession if they can win the scrum feed.
Well, this might be even better for them. It takes the forwards out of play in these first couple of hit-ups, so that's what's been causing Japan the problems. So.
Look to exploit the short side there, and Turkey were alive to it. So first tackle 10 metres out, big chance here for Japan. Good numbers in the tackle for Turkey. There's just a run out of dummy half back towards the centre of the field. Managed to place him down gently, which is good. Nice short ball, good run. Into the teeth of the defence. Ball's come loose. Turkey survive another Japanese raid.
Well, we call it a raid, but they really didn't throw a lot at them again, and it was probably one play short. I think they were going to send it out to the backs on the next play, but again they put it down, so they're not doing themselves any favour.
Just over 27 minutes gone here in this first half. This Emerging Nations World Championships game between Turkey and Japan. Turkey lead 18 points to 0. They've been very impressive early on. Big thank you to Bar TV for streaming these games live. They're streaming all the games live here at this Emerging Nations Championships. We've spoken to a few former and current NRL players this morning, and they're here supporting these Emerging Nations, which is great to see. Let us know who you're cheering for if you're watching via Facebook or online feeds. We had a couple of people tuning in from Kuwait on Monday and Spain, and so it's going worldwide, this competition. Just a bit of a hold up in play here.
It looks like Sazmaz. I'm sure I got that wrong, but he's had some treatment. He's making his way back to the scrum. We'll get back into it in a moment. But yeah, it's a great concept, the emerging nations, and as I've said before, the standard is, particularly in the last game, was outstanding.
And UA ran out 26 points to 16 winners over Malta in that first game. Game of high quality. Turkey now make their way to their own end. That's Dalsic. Tough man to bring down. He's up over halfway. Play the ball. There's Sazmaz. Good defence there from Japan. Oh, just give away a penalty. Too much work in the ruck.
Yeah, that's a shame. That was a good tackle. They just went on with it a little bit too long.
Turkey will kick for touch here. Suro find the line. 10 metres out from the Japan line, so great opportunity for Turkey to add to their lead. Two balls on the field. Just giving Japan a chance to set their line. Stalsic goes himself. He'll be tough to stop. I'm not sure they will stop him. Did he get it down? No, he's dropped it over the line. I'll get a 20-metre restart here in a 7-tackle set, Japan, and Turkey a bit slow to get back. And that's a good run off the tap as well, 15 metres, so good start to the set for Japan.
There's a good example of that, of those Turkish forwards starting to tire a bit. That was very lazy.
See a Japanese player slip into that contact there. A little wet underfoot out there today at St Mary's. Some welcomed rain though in these parts. It's been a very dry winter here in Australia if you're watching overseas. Japan now up over halfway. To be Douglas Street of the 22 as they come back centre field. Shibasaki now, the 17, sorry. Mochizuki. And they go high, Japan, up into the sky, rain coming down, tough one to take. He's done well there, Karabor. Beats the first one, beats the second one. A decent enough kick chase there from Japan will pin him just the other side of his 10-metre line.
Yeah, good footy from Japan there. They just need to complete some sets, keep themselves in the game. They gave themselves an opportunity with that kick. They didn't get it back. But, at least they're playing some footy, which is going to give them an opportunity.
Looks like the 14, Kashiwaba, will make his way onto the field shortly. Certainly getting numbers in the tackle here, Japan. And after Turkey's blistering start, they've found their footing, the Japanese. It's a good run from Come back centre field, that's Sura. We tackled just shy of halfway on the last. So kick through Aidan Salmon Cochrane, and that'll find touch. A chance for those big Turkish forwards to suck in the deep ones. It's a good kick from the halfback.
Yeah, it's a good defensive set from Japan as well. They probably made 25 yards, but as opposed to the 40 or 50 they were making in the first 10 or 15 minutes. So it's a much improved effort. They are working themselves into the game. They've just got to maintain that level of enthusiasm, certainly for at least the next 8 minutes, getting through to half time, and then work themselves back into the game in the second half.
Got a few people right into us, Dave. We've got people watching in Canada, British Columbia. Got people watching in Shanghai, China as well. So,
nice.
Welcome to those.
It's a global
viewers.
phenomenon.
Beautiful part of the world, British Columbia.
I haven't had the pleasure, I've got to say. It's on the bucket list.
Japan now look to make their way up to halfway. Little short ball back underneath. Lost another jersey. Nice short ball back inside, so they're making some good meters. A nice offload as well there. It's not able to do anything with it, Japan, at the moment. They're up to the 30-metre line. There's still a couple of tackles up their sleeve as they come to the right. There's a high kick early in the count. There's a little bit of miscommunication there from Turkey, but they take it, and now they're away. This is Karabok down the touchline. Karabok, he's got one to beat. Cover defence coming across. He puts the foot down. Great tackle in defence. Somehow manages to stay in field, Karabok. I don't know how he's done that. Great cover defence. That looks like the 7, Tutsui. He looked home there, Karabok.
Yeah, he did. That was a terrific tackle.
That's Salmon Cochrane, Jaden Salmon Cochrane. He's tackled 15 out from the line. They come centre field. That's the 19, Alte. He's tackled 5 out from the line. Turkey on the front foot. So they go from dummy half again. That's Sura again. Sura, does he get there? I think he does. That'll be his second try today from dummy half, Sura. And Turkey jump out to a 22-0 lead with a kick to come.
And again, that blade of grass down there has got another workout. I reckon that's the same one again, and that all came from what we described earlier on, in that a lot of these Japanese players are former rugby players, or probably current rugby players too, and it was the 6, Kenta Carino, who put a kick up for his outside backs, who were probably more league-oriented and weren't ready for the kick. As a result, Turkey grabbed the ball, ran 50 or 60 metres upfield, and have scored two or three plays later. So it was unfortunate because they were starting to work themselves into the game, Japan, and that was probably a play that really wasn't called for at this part of the match.
Just been told reliably on our Facebook stream that these jerseys for Japan are a special edition for this tournament because of the clashes with Poland and Turkey. So that might explain why we're struggling with the numbers at the moment. But you're right, Dave, that kick came fairly early in the tackle count, and as you said, we spoke to one of the Japanese players earlier, and they are of a rugby union background, and it smelled like a rugby union kick to me.
Well, they had it written all over it. And in fairness, had the outside backs been prepared for it, it probably wasn't an unreasonable kick in the conditions, but they just weren't.
As we hear the Turkish fans get loud, they were outstanding on Monday over at Windsor. The Windsor Wolves played host to Monday's action, and we've got the St Mary's Leagues Club playing host to today's action here. High and difficult kick-off. Well taken there by Carter. So we've got 5 minutes to go in this first half. Scoreline reads Turkey 24, Japan 0. It's probably an accurate reflection of Turkey's dominance in this game. Japan have had their moments. To work it away through Turgut now.
You probably have to agree with that. They've been just not physical enough, Japan. It's not entirely their fault. The size just isn't there for them. We'll see, as we see another run there, 10 or 12 metres.
Zalje,
Good to play the ball.
Baskanyali's back out there. He's up to the 20-metre line, so last tackle, another chance here for Turkey to put in an attacking kick. So come to Turgut. Turgut holds onto it, steps to fullback. That's a classy try there from the skipper, Jansen Turgut. And he goes over underneath the post. Scoreline 28, Turkey, Japan 0.
Yeah, and that'll be 30 in a minute or so, but I think you spoke earlier on about the Turkish crowd, and they're all sitting in front of us, and there's plenty of them. You can probably hear them through the effects mic. Quite excited at the moment with this performance from their team.
And so they should be. I spoke to their president on Monday, and they were playing their first ever official game as a nation, and they won that one, and they're looking to go back to back here. Touched on it before, Jansen Turgut. He's representing the Salford club from England, so a wealth of experience for the skipper. Just goes to show how keen these players are to represent their countries, coming from all parts of the globe to do it. Conversion successful. Sura won't get an easy one than that today. Turkey get out to a 30 points to nil lead over Japan with just under 3 minutes to go in this first half.
The last couple of minutes just hasn't been what Japan had ordered. They were starting to play some decent footy, but just a mistake down at Turkey's end, and bang bang, 12 points later they find themselves in a great deal of difficulty.
Low and hard kick off. Simon Cochrane traps it with his foot. Probably the smart thing to do in these conditions. Baskanyali still carrying. He's been outstanding, the front rower. Comes centre field. Selik Tutan will be tackled just shy of the 40. Just over 2 minutes to go. Japan will want to close the floodgates, so to speak. Just get into half time and regroup. So they come to Salman Cochrane. That's Aiden Salman Cochrane out there in the 7. His brother Jaden's in the 26, and there's an error. So Japan will have a scrum feed just shy of their own 40-metre line with a minute and a half to go in this first half. That rain just hasn't stopped, and you can start to see a few little puddles out there now, Dave.
Yeah, it's starting to pool. I suspect the drainage on this ground is quite good, but the rain is very, very heavy. As I said earlier on, it's really not reflected on your screens at home.
Japan win the scrum feed and kick early, so a bit of a surprise tactic here from Japan, and they've got the speed still after it, but Turkey are alive to the danger. Karaborg's back there. There's another play that you might look at and think that might have been a rugby union play.
Well, absolutely, but in the context of the game, it's probably not a bad one. Only a minute or so to go. Turkey have got to work it out from their own line. And the potential for it, certainly unexpected. Every chance that that's going to come off. Unfortunately, just didn't have the pace, but it was a nice kick. Well weighted.
So they muscle up in defence here, Japan. It's under 40 seconds to go in this first half. Dalsik in a dummy half. Baskanyali with another run.
I don't think he's had a break, has he?
I don't think so either. His front row partner's gone off for a rest. It might be his turn in the second half. Asura kicks high and long. Difficult one to deal with. He's been knocked backwards. Still juggling it. They finally managed to corral it, Japan. He tackled a metre out from his own line. That might be the last play of this first half. No, we're going to get time off. Japanese player down, needing some treatment.
I think it's Gabides. I can't see the number from here.
I'm not sure the referee can see the number from there, but that'll be half time here at St Mary's Stadium in this Emerging Nations World Championships game. Turkey lead Japan 30 points to nil. We'll be back after the half-time break for the second half action.
Yes, I spoke to him yesterday. Yes, he called me. Oh, sorry. What he said, there is an issue on regional side, the national secretary side of it. So, but he didn't directly tell me that's the problem. But he said, there is a person challenging the decision because there was a mistake before. So,
Welcome back here to St Mary's Stadium for this Emerging Nations World Championship clash between Japan and Turkey. Both teams are just making their way out of the sheds now. I'm here with Dave Wild. My name's Dan McCamley, and we've witnessed a Turkish masterclass in the first half, Dave.
Yeah, it was, and I struggle to see after the last 5 minutes of the first half how Japan can work their way into it. They probably had a chance at 18-0. 30-0 makes it very, very difficult.
Probably a good opportunity as we see both teams coming back out onto the field to thank the sponsors of this tournament as well. Rugby League International Federation, the New South Wales Rugby League, the National Rugby League, New South Wales Government, Office of Sport, Beats, Ware, St Mary's Rugby League Club, Cabramatta Leagues and Windsor Leagues Club. So a big thank you to those guys for coming on board and supporting this Emerging Nations tournament. Also a big thank you to Bar TV, who are streaming all of the games live for the Emerging Nations World Championships. We've got another 2 games after this one. In the earlier game this morning, we had Niue run out 26 points to 16 winners over Malta in a highly contested match. Some quality rugby league in that one, and Niue were probably the underdogs going into that one. Were just too big and too strong for Malta.
Yeah, they came back well just towards the back end of that game, Malta. Another 5 or 10 minutes and it might have been a different result, but they left their run a little too late. Let's hope Japan can do the same thing in this game.
Wet conditions here at St Mary's today. It's been raining steadily since probably kick-off of the second half in the first game. Looks to have eased off a little bit now. So hopefully we'll see the rain cease soon. So Japan are going to get us back underway. There's the whistle for the second half, and Japan get us back underway. As Turkey put the ball on the deck, Aiden Salmon Cochrane couldn't deal with it, but it went backwards. He tackled about 12 out from his own line on the first. One of the good things about the Turkish performance in the first half was their ability to make meters early on in their sets. So there's Baskanyali. He didn't get a rest in the first half, the front rower. Play the ball 30 out from his own line as they go to the left.
Yeah, that was a slow one. He's just had half time. That was a slow play of the ball. I reckon they'll give him a break shortly.
He certainly earned it as he goes for another trot. He's up over halfway. That'll be the last. Salmon Cochrane with the kick. Kicks downfield. Sits up there. That's Gabides is on now. Although you wouldn't know by the number. Japan now making their way up towards halfway in this first set of 6 for them in the second half. 30 points to 0 down. A bit of a test of character here for the Japanese side. As good as an experience as these tournaments can be, it can certainly be a test if you get on the wrong end of one of these score lines.
Yeah, Dan, it's not much fun either, I've got to say. You're walking out, so makes a break down the left-hand side of the field, and he's tackled into touch.
There's Regi Sano looking to put the foot down there, and good cover defence from Turkey. That was Alassane Azar. Alassane Azar, sorry.
I don't know whether he's just done absolutely nothing in the first half or he's come on with a fresh jumper, but I'm going to assume it's the latter.
looks like he's lining up on the wing and might just be having a nice little day off out there on the right-hand touchline.
Well, it's a good day for it, and they're certainly in a position where they can afford it.
Dalsic will get into dummy half. Strong running from the centre, up over the 40. They come back centre field, Turkey. That's their skipper, Tugut.
Here's
Pascagnali, great offload. Karabork now looks to split them. Another offload from Karabork. Bit of razzle-dazzle here from Turkey. Just shy of the 20-metre line in Japan's defensive half. Salman Cochrane with a kick over the top. Well taken. Met almost instantly there by Carter.
Yeah, just not enough height on that kick. They had the right idea, and you could see them getting set for it. And they've got some height out here too to take advantage of it, but just didn't give the Turkish outside backs an opportunity to get underneath it.
I spoke about unattached players earlier on with Dalsic. The Salman Cochrane brothers are unattached at the moment as well, so they're playing half and 5/8 today for Turkey.
As is the 8, Pascagnali, who's for mine been easily the best at field.
Japan now just struggling to get any metres here off this set. There's that man Pascagnali in the tackle. Good numbers in the tackle from Turkey. Turgut was in there as well. So this will be the last, just shy of their own 30, Japan. Need a good kick here.
At the moment,
Little kick into space. Well controlled there by Karabork. Beats the first, beats the second. Karabork, and he's away. Cover defence coming across. He beats him. Karabork streaking down the sideline. There's cover coming, but they won't get there. And Karabork, the number 9, who's playing fullback, goes 60 metres to score.
Well, we saw it 5 or 6 minutes before half-time. So a similar type kick and a similar type result where Karabork picks it up, makes 50 or 60 metres. In this case, he made about 70 and scored, but made 50 or 60 in the first half. They scored 2 plays later, and now again, just a poor. The kick was all right, just the chase on that right-hand side for Japan. Wasn't up to scratch. He got around him, and no one was going to catch him once he got in front of him.
Yeah, it was Lachlan Grieve coming across in cover defence for Japan, and try as he might, he just couldn't wrap him up. So that takes the scoreline out to 34 points to 0, Turkey over Japan. Got a guest joining us from the Turkey side. Julian, how are you, Julian?
Good.
You must be very happy with your side's performance so far.
I'm very proud of what the guys are achieving today. So
it's a good result. Well, it's not a result yet, but
yes.
After your performance on Monday morning against the Solomon Islands, it's a good way to back up.
Indeed, second game looks like we're gonna make it to the second win. So yeah, we're very happy. We made some adjustments on the squad today, and brought on some local guys from Turkey, and they are performing very well. Number 20, number 19, and number 17. So which is...
I haven't seen a bad player out there in the first 2 games for Turkey. Actually, the 2 performances have been outstanding from your country. I spoke to your president on Monday, and he was telling me that Monday was your first official game as a nation.
It was indeed.
So exciting times for Turkish Rugby League coming up.
Indeed. So we started Rugby League in 2016. So we started small with one club, called Kadıköy Bulls in Istanbul, and then we step by step grew the game with 3, 4, 5 clubs, and this year we're gonna have 14 clubs.
Wow, 14 teams. That's
yes, so we're gonna have 10 seniors men and 4 women.
That's outstanding stuff. And the Emerging Nations World Championships, that's what it's about, growing the game in other countries. And you've got so many players from around the world coming together in this one team. Has it been difficult to get them to gel?
It was quite a challenge, yes, because we wanted local players to come, and we also wanted to grow the game locally and in Europe as well. So yeah, we brought 8 players from Europe and Turkey. And yeah, we had to find some fundings and all the things that every nation has to go through, you know.
Fair enough. Well, they've certainly been impressive for their first 2 official games in Turkish colours. Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you very much.
We'll speak to you guys again soon.
Yes, thank you very much.
That was Julian from Turkish Rugby League, who's got a big smile on his face. So the 2 performances from his side at the moment have been very impressive, Dave.
Yeah, should have too. And they're not just a big side; they look a well-balanced side too. They've got a little bit of speed.
They've got a break here from Japan. Mochizuki poked his nose through the hole. Can Japan get on the board here as they come to the right? Shift out to the back. They found a little bit of a gap here, Japan. That's the 5, Jay Brown. He'll be tackled 10 out from the line. Last tackle. Good defence. That'll be a changeover. Line speed was just too quick.
Yeah, it was. You need to make that tackle too, because I think if they got that pass away, they were away Japan, which would have made their day. At least get them on the board. But yeah, as you said, great line speed.
Got a cheerio from Norway at 6:45 in the morning there. Ian Thompson. Thanks very much, Ian, for tuning in.
There's a famous rugby league name.
I wonder what the conditions are like in Norway at the moment. It's been raining here for probably 2 hours straight. Can't say I've ever been to Norway. Turkey now work it up over the 40. It's the 19 Alche. Good strong running from the skipper. Turgert, he'll play the ball. An awkward one to deal with for the winger. Somehow manages to hold on to it. Somehow manages to stay in field. Well, you thought for all money he was going into touch there.
Well, our view's slightly obscured by the world's biggest umbrella down there, but look, for all money he was going to go out. He did well to hold on to it. He's having another go here.
It's Sagano now. Not afraid to get down and dirty with the big boys in the middle there, Sagano. Shift the ball to the right now, Japan. Good contact in defence from Turkey. It's been like that all day. It's been tough sledding for the Japanese players in that middle third as they put the ball on the deck. A bit of a shape up there. Not saying I condone it, but good to see that the Japanese players not backing down even though they're behind on the scoreboard. 34 points to 0. Turkey lead Japan. We've had just over 10 minutes gone in this second half.
Well, I don't think we can question their commitment. I don't think there's any dramas with that. I think their execution's been a little lacking at various times of the game, and probably just the size. We've gone through it a few times, but I think the size on a day like this is imperative, and unfortunately Japan don't have it, and Turkey do.
Well, then it's these tournaments that allow these teams to work on their execution. That Japan wouldn't get too many competitive games in, I don't think. It really gives them a chance to work on some things and gel as a unit. As we've touched on, they've got a couple of rugby union players out there, the rugby union backgrounds. Just finding their way in the world of rugby league at the moment, Japan.
Yeah, look, and they've got some players with ability. I don't think there's any question about that. But and as you say, they don't get the opportunity to play together very often. So this is a golden opportunity for them. And they're doing it a little bit tough at the moment, but they're all learning experiences.
Good strong run there. Quick play the ball as well. That's the 28 that's come on. We don't seem to have on our sheet here. He's definitely just come on. It's not standing out on the wing for him. Japan drive them back. That's the try scorer, Karabok, who'll play the ball. Baskanyali barking instructions at the Turkish players. Salman Cochrane takes the line on.
Probably should have let that one go.
Good defence from Japan as they come down the short side to That's knocked on by Japan. Vulcan with the kick. Japan just couldn't clean it up, so Turkey will get another full set of 6 here, 10 metres out from the Japanese line. It'll be tough for them to hold on here, you'd think, Dave.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, and I tend to be, I would think Turkey will probably put another 4-pointer on here within the next 60 seconds or so. We'll see how good a judge I am. They look to be struggling, and they're set for a play out to the left already, Turkey, and I'm not sure that Japan have really cottoned on to where they're going, although they're starting to slide that way now, but the sheer size suggests they're going to be hard to hold out.
They win the scump through. Salman Cochrane now with a bit of footwork. He's ragdolled down to the ground. Full set at their disposal here for Turkey as they come to the left. That's Salman Cochrane. He beats one, beats two, offloads to Turgut. Turgut's over. The skipper gets a double. Lovely offload from Jaden Salman Cochrane. And Turkey go out to a 38-0 lead over Japan with a kick to come.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been good, the captain. Probably the next best behind Baskinyali, and as the game goes on, he's probably working his way into possibly number one position. He's started the second half very strongly, and he's earned himself another 4-pointer there.
Good footwork there shown by the 26, Jaden Salman Cochrane, and he poked his nose through the line and got the offload away, and Turgut was Johnny on the spot.
As he has been a few times today, and we saw him drop that one early on in the game with the line wide open, but his support play has been outstanding all game, and he's going to be presented with some more opportunities in these next 25 minutes, you would think.
Make sure you guys watching on Bar TV Sports, on any of the streams, you guys stay tuned. There's 2 more games to come today in this Emerging Nations World Championships. Next up, we've got Poland versus Hong Kong. A couple more emerging nations getting a run out. We had Willie Mason on here earlier saying he's had a little bit to do with Poland, so kick was unsuccessful, so the scoreline remains 38-0 Turkey over Japan. Just over 25 minutes to go in this one. Test of character here for Japan.
Yeah, we don't want to see a blowout, but it's got the signs. Japan not really in any hurry to go and take this kick off, and whereas in the first half their enthusiasm was getting them through, they're starting to struggle now. I think they're starting to tire, and the scoreboard's obviously against them. It could be another 25 minutes for the Japanese.
This is Japan's first game of the tournament. This will mean Turkey go to 2-0, so 2 wins, 0 losses in the tournament. It holds them in good stead for a semi-final appearance. Turkish Rugby League would be ecstatic with the way their boys have performed over the last couple of days. First at Windsor and now here at St Mary's.
And we did touch on it earlier too, Dan. The screens aren't picking it up, but there's a really big contingent of Turkish supporters right in front of us. I'm sure you can hear them.
They make another line break. That's the 20, Selik Tutan. He'll be tackled 20 out from the line. They go to the left through Salman Cochrane. Cut out pass. Oh, nearly picked off there. It was a risky pass from Jaden Salman Cochrane. You can probably afford to do that when you're 38-0 up. It was nearly intercepted by the Japanese winger.
Yeah, unlucky there. That would have been a test of his speed, but I think he had 10 or 15 yards at anyone else, so I think if he takes that, he scores. Japan get their first points, but unfortunately he's put it down. It's put his side under pressure again.
Yeah, another set of 6 in the attacking zone here for Turkey. As hard as they've tried Japan, they've been a bit leaky down here on their own goal line. If they win the scrum feed now, good strong running there by Vulcan. He's up to the 10-metre line, so full set of 6 here for Turkey as they go short. That's good contact on the goal line. That was Enes Erten. Turns it back under to Baskinyali, and he deserves that, the big man. Just barges over from close range. That takes the scoreline out to 42-0. Turkey over Japan, and Baskinyali with a well-deserved try.
Yeah, I thought he was tiring there 10 minutes ago, and I think under any other circumstances he probably would have, but had no ball, Japan, and certainly no quality ball again. I don't think they've been tackled in the Turkish half in the 18 minutes since half time. So they've had all the ball down this end. He's not had to make a lot of tackles, and his runs have been outstanding again. But he's got on the board.
So we see Cyril line up his kick. We're joined in commentary now by the CEO of Rugby League International Federation, Nigel Wood. How are you, Nigel?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. First class.
How are you enjoying the Emerging Nations World Championships?
Oh, look, I just think it's absolutely wonderful. What a great credit to all concerned. I mean, you look at the scoreboard there, Japan versus Turkey, and I've been involved with rugby league for 45, 50 years, and would you ever believe that you would look at a scoreboard with those two countries on? It's just a remarkable event, and it's a tribute to everybody who's been involved in organising it.
Well, don't hold your breath. We've got Hong Kong and Poland coming up, so there's another two nations that they're not rugby league powerhouses, but hopefully one day in the future they will be.
Well, you make a very good point about the value of the International Federation. We've got between 60 and 70 nations that are associated with us and that play rugby league at one level or other. So you're right, we're not going to look at next year's world champions today, but that's not necessarily just the point. It's about providing playing opportunities across the world for players to play this great game of rugby league. And I think people take advantage of that, and our role as an international federation is to provide the right competition framework for people to enjoy rugby league.
Well, you speak about across the world, and every team has a story or two, especially we'll take, for example, the Solomon Islands, who all of their players are locally based. Just shows how keen these guys are to play for their countries.
I mean, what an honour! At the end of the day, in the big competitions such as the NRL and the Super League, there are big trophies to win, like grand finals. But fundamentally, if you ask any young boy and more recently any young girl what would they want to achieve out of rugby league, they want to represent the country. They want to wear the national colours. They want to sing the national anthem. They want to see and salute the national flag, and they wear that with pride. And I think that the International Federation's obligation is to give all nations a chance to play at the right level. We know it's a tough game as today is this particular one. It's a tough afternoon for Japan, so it's important that we get the right level of competition and well-matched sides, because it's a great game.
Yeah, you speak about that level of competition, and that's the way the tournament is structured. It's to pull these teams together in regards to their experience to keep these games competitive, and that's what we've seen throughout this tournament so far. There was a little bit of a time between drinks in regards to tournament. This is the first time it's been in Australia. Are we looking to make this an annual thing, or
whether it's an annual thing or not? I think we have to discuss with the participants in particular. We've got to make sure we listen to what their needs are and what they think an appropriate schedule would be for nations of this standard. I am totally committed to this kind of event because I think we've got an obligation to deliver the competition for them, but we have to make it accessible and affordable for people to participate. I mean, I would like to see an emerging nations in either hemisphere, and then effectively the best of the emerging nations come together to play a kind of a world championship. I think that would be a logical and sensible way forward. But it's all right me dreaming of that on the back of a beer mat. That's not going to make it happen. What I've got to do is listen to what the nations have to say, what they think works for them, what is proportionate for them. But it's just the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do to let people play rugby league.
Oh, Nigel, well, sorry we couldn't turn the weather on for you today, mate. It's
well, I come from the north of England, so this is not particularly alien for me. And all that's happened since I've been here is I've heard about a drought in this part of the world. So I would imagine that irrespective of the discomfort, more people will be happy than not that there's some rain.
So we're blaming you for the rain. Yeah. Well, we're thanking you for the rain then, actually.
Well, you can blame, thank, or whatever. I'm used to that in this life and previous ones.
All right, Nigel, it's been a pleasure to talk to you, mate. Big things for International Rugby League moving forward, and this Emerging Nations Championship is an absolutely unbelievable experience for these guys out here. One that they probably wouldn't get without it. So,
well, yeah, I think that's right, and thank you very much for that, and may the best country win.
Cheers, Nigel.
Thank you.
That was Nigel Wood, the CEO of Rugby League International Federation, joining us live on Bar TV Sports.
And made some really good points, very much like Willie, looking at the expansion of the competition down the track, which I think is a wonderful idea, and I think the concept that he came up with just then of the north-south hemisphere participants is makes infinite sense.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Dave. That was what I thought was a really good idea there from Nigel. It would save a fair bit of travel for some of these Northern Hemisphere teams and likewise Southern Hemisphere teams going up there. This is the first time this tournament's been held in Australia. The previous two were in England, so maybe splitting up that competition might be beneficial in the future as Turkey continue to manhandle the Japanese side. But we've got a penalty here for Japan.
Yeah, I think that was fair enough. That was that was Gordon Tallis, Brett Hodgson scenario all over, which now wasn't a penalty back then, but it's a penalty now. And that scenario was very much like it, and the referee got that one right.
Well, let's see if Japan can put together some backline movements here. They're inside the Turkish half, a rare visit. Just under 7 minutes to go in this one. Scoreline reads Turkey 44, Japan 0. Nice little run out of dummy half there by the 19, Sugano. Turned his forward back underneath as they get out of dummy half again. They come to the left. The cutout pass to the 9. That's Fukushigi. Comes back in field. Beats one. Being tackled 15 out from the Turkish line. They're deep to the right here, Japan. Some good shape out the back. There's the cutout pass, and it's been missed by the Turkish winger. Japan go for the corner. They're tackled 2 metres out from the line. Couple of tackles up their sleeve as they come to the left. There's the long cutout pass. Plenty of room out here. Yeah, good scrambling defence from Turkey. So this will be the last tackle, 10 metres out from the line. Japan come down the short side now. Kicks back towards the post.
Well, that's gone to Newcastle, that one.
Over the dead ball line on the full. So not the best end of the set there for Japan, but a promising one in attack, Dave.
Yeah, much better. And I was going to say just before that set that they certainly haven't given up. I think the crowd, bar the couple of hundred or so people that are directly in front of us now, were willing them over the line. In those last 60 seconds or so, they couldn't quite get there, but they've got 15 minutes yet, so hopefully they can get one on the board.
Got Amani Kanishi, who looks to be limping there as he makes his way back into the line. Good shot in defence. Solid contact from Japan. Fukushigi was involved. That's Urton now. You'll be tackled 40 out from the line. They go to the left. That's the skipper, Turgut. 2 tries today, leading from the front. Wrapped up 25 out from the line. Last tackle. They come to the right through Salman Cochrane. He puts a little kick on the ground. Was it played at? It'll be touched.
Oh, I think he's called.
I think he's called 6 to go. So that'll restart the tackle count. Danger signs here for Japan.
Yeah, that was a tough call, I thought. But anyway, they've got to deal with it now.
Alt-J now. He tackled 8 out from the line. Full set of 6 at their disposal here. Turgut, one off the ruck. Some footwork before the line. Japan are equal to the task. And the ball's been stripped loose.
I don't think they can argue that one.
I don't think they'll be taking the 2 here, Dave.
No, and I think your man Baskignali.
Cyril went for the old sneaky quick tap, jump over the line. Well, the front rowers are a try apiece, Dagdanasar and Baskignali.
Well, Dagdanasar's back on there. I think Baskignali's off.
That's Alt-J. Good play at centimetres from the line. Nice lofted pass. Oh, and with the try line begging.
Max Bannock's out there.
Turkey have put the ball on the deck. Well, they can afford to bomb a try or 2 at the moment.
Yeah, I think we'll see them throw the ball around a little in these last 13 minutes or so. Certainly have enough points from a for and against perspective at the moment, but they certainly it looks as though they smell blood. See a couple more tries coming, maybe head up towards that 60 mark.
Number 17, Alajun Ajar has done awfully well to keep his jersey that clean today. As Japan spill the ball from the scrum. Oh, and there's another knock on. Another try goes begging as Ayrton looked to bulldoze his way over.
I think he's gone back to the first error. No advantage. So this will be a Turkey ball. Scrum right in front of the post, 10 yards out. At this point of the game, you probably don't want a better attacking opportunity.
12 minutes to go in this one here at St Mary's Stadium. Turkey leading 44-0 over Japan. Hasn't been through a lack of effort from Japan. They've just been outclassed today by this Turkish side who are playing their second ever international fixture. Dagdanasar with the offload. Japan clean up, so well done to Japan there, they survive.
Yeah, he puts his hand up, Dagdanasar. I think he had white line fever at first. He saw a couple of smallish defenders in front of him and thought he could run over the top, and then when he couldn't, he saw his unmarked winger outside him and tried to find him. Made 2 errors.
Japan now get driven back. Dagdanasar in again. Just had a message come through from Peter Finker. Any more games today? There sure are, Peter. We've got Hong Kong and Poland up next, and then we've also got Hungary and Vanuatu to finish us off. So 3:20 Hong Kong versus Poland, 5 o'clock Hungary versus Vanuatu. So plenty more league action here from Bar TV as Japan now look to offload, and Turkey have come back up with the ball. Seems like we haven't been out of this 30-metre zone for the last 5 or 10 minutes, Dave.
No, they've just had no ball, and when they get it, they tend to throw it away. At this point of the game, you probably can't blame them for trying to throw it around a little bit, but they just haven't had any luck doing it.
LJ takes the tackle. Turgert now. Just happy to tuck that one under the arm. Beats one. Beats another Turgert. Still going. He'll be tackled short of the goal line. Still a few tackles left for Turkey. So he goes from dummy half again. Oh, doesn't get there. He looked to promote it forward, but still didn't get there. Play the ball right on the goal line. So shift it now. Good line speed from Japan. This will be the last tackle. They've done well so far, the Japanese, to hold them out. Play the ball. It goes short. And that's a try to Ayrton. Ayrton's in under the sticks.
Yeah, you said it there, and they've done well up till there. It was a nice little bit of footwork just at the line there. And sucked the Japanese defender in, and over he goes.
That takes the scoreline out to 48 points to 0 with a kick to come. So we're going to crack the 50 here. Just under 10 minutes to go in this World Championship game for the emerging nations. Good opportunity to thank the sponsors as well for this tournament. Got Rugby League International Federation, New South Wales Rugby League, National Rugby League, New South Wales Government, Office of Sport, Beast Wear, St Mary's Rugby League Club, Cabramatta Leagues and Windsor Leagues Club as well. As the conversion is successful, we've got a Japan player down receiving some treatment on the far touchline. Looks as though Poland and Hong Kong have finished their warm-ups. That game will be coming to you live on Bar TV straight after this one. Dave will be back for that one. May as well leave the headsets on, Dave.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's my first foray into international rugby league commentary, so I've got to say I've quite enjoyed it thus far.
In the early game today, we had Niue defeat Malta 26-16. Niue got out to a 26-6 lead, and Malta scored a couple of late tries to keep things interesting, but in the end, Niue were just too good. It was their first performance. Malta go to 1-1, 1 win, 1 loss. It's not just today that we've got action coming up. We've also got action on Sunday down at Cabramatta. Got 4 games coming from Cabramatta. I think it might even be 6, to be honest.
Yeah, we're just waiting for this Japanese player to wander over the dead ball line. He'll be replaced, and we'll kick off for these last 8 minutes.
Not only do we have the Emerging Nations World Championships, we've also got Africa United versus ASEAN, and we've got the Latin heat taking on the Mediterranean side as well. So 6 games coming to you live from Cabramatta on Sunday. As the boys at Bar TV will be busy that day.
That's a big game of football. Big day of football.
Turkey now. Good shot in defence, and they forced an error, Japan.
And there's another example of Japan. They really haven't given up.
It was Aidan Selman Cochrane taking the line on, and a good shot on the ball forced the error. The ball hits the deck, comes out to the 6, Carino. He tackled 30 out from the Turkey line, so chance here for Japan to put some points on the board. Long pass hits the deck. It's put on the toe by Turkey. It's a foot race now. It's the 28 after it. Will it stay in play? Still going. Well, looks like a game of soccer out there. Still going, and he scored.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't. Wow. The referees brought it back.
Oh, they still think they've got over, but he deserved a try. That was a wonderful effort. Great chase by the Japanese player too. It should be said. They're down 50-0 with 6.5 minutes to go, and he's chased 50 or 60 metres there to save that try. Well done.
We see the replay has been put on the foot about 8 times. Japan came across to try to kick it dead. I don't know how you don't give that a try, to be honest.
Yeah, that looks all right on the replay, I've got to say.
Referee was in good position, 40 metres away. He called it. Japan are let off the hook with that one. They'll make their way up to halfway now. And over it. Good run there through the middle. Tired Turkish defence. Just haven't been able to exploit that, Japan, today. They are the smaller team and they haven't been able to take on that bigger pack in the second half. This will be the last tackle, 30 out from the line. Come back the open side, that's Carino. He shifts the ball, that's the 7. Tsui puts it up high. Good chase through.
Yeah, nice
Turkey
kick.
have dropped it. Penalty inside the 10.
Well, that's unfortunate that they put themselves in good field position. That was a nice kick. Just couldn't see who it was that was called offside, but there was a number of players, both inside and outside the kicker, that were onside. I'm just not sure who that particular individual was.
Just back to that Hake grubber kick non-try. It looked like Hakan Suka dribbling down the sideline for the Turkish national team in the soccer there.
Yeah, it did. Very impressive, and it was a wonderful skill set, probably aided by the wet weather, and it held up a little bit on that left-hand side of the field, but yeah, great skills and terrific effort by both players. As I said a moment ago, great chase as well.
Just under 5 minutes to go here at St Mary Stadium in this second game of the day between Turkey and Japan. It's the Emerging Nations World Championships. We've been joined in commentary today by some pretty high-profile people. In the first game, we had Dean Hullatow and Joseph Paulo join the commentary. They were here supporting Niue. And we had Willie Mason in on the Turkey-Japan game. He's here helping out Poland. And we also had the CEO of Rugby League International as Turkey now break down the sideline. That's Ajar back inside. They're still going Selik Titan. Selik Titan for the corner. Will he get there? The touchy's flag stays down. And Selik Titan goes over in the corner. Try time to Turkey. 54 points to 0. Turkey over Japan, and Selik Titan goes over in the corner.
Well, it was Alakan Akar who again looks like he's played in a dinner suit. He ran down the sideline, and again he's avoided being tackled. His jumper looks as fresh as what it was when he ran out 80 minutes ago, but he's done well there. Nice ball on the inside, set up the try.
Yeah, his socks are a bit dirty, but...
Yeah, the inside of his leg there. He looks pretty happy with himself too.
Tough kick here for Salman Cochrane. We've spoken about for and against in this tournament, how it could come into play, so certainly a boost for Turkey today. And one of the big differences, Dave, from today as opposed to Monday, Turkey, I think, let their foot off the throats of the Solomon Islands. They led 30 points to 6 early in that second half and let the Solomon Islands back into it late. So,
well, they certainly haven't done that today, and perhaps they learnt from that, or perhaps they're playing against slightly more inferior opposition. It's difficult to tell, but they've certainly gone on with the job given the opportunity today.
Well, the conversion was unsuccessful. As one of our viewers has just pointed out, we've got Poland and Hong Kong coming up next, so make sure you stay tuned to the coverage at Bar TV. If you're in the area, try and get down to St Mary's Stadium. Big Turkish turnout again today. Should be known as well that Turkey, amongst their supporters, they've got the Turkish Consulate General here, so pulling out the bigwigs, the Turkish national team. He's been at both games so far.
Yeah.
So good to see him involved in Turkish Rugby League.
Absolutely. Be pretty happy with what he's seeing too, I would think. All right, we've got a minute 20 to go.
They've got another try in them, Dave.
I'm going to say yes.
I forgot to check in on your bet earlier, whether they'd score off that next set.
They did.
Okay. As they spread the ball now, Turkey, there's Salman Cochrane. Good covering defence from Japan. Plenty of numbers there. Good effort from the Japanese as they take it from dummy half now. They shift the ball. Selik Titan, he's just scored the last try.
Well, they're in all sorts of trouble out here on Turkey's left. Quick play the ball here and they should score.
They turn it back under.
They're
going to score anyway. Burton crashes over for his second of the day. The scoreline reads 58 points to 0, Turkey over Japan. As the clock ticks down to the end of this game, Turkey have just been too big, too strong, too good.
Yeah, and should this kick go over, it'll be 30 to zip in both halves. 30 to 0 at half time, of course. So they've been consistent throughout the match.
I think the big man, Danesar, is going to take this kick, Dave.
Well, I might change my tip then. We might leave it at 28-0 for the second half.
I'm going to back him in.
All right, you're on.
I wonder if he'll go around the corner or the old Malmaninga topo.
Oh, how's he setting it up? Although they set it up all the same these days, I guess. He looks around the corner.
He's going to do the Johnny Wilkinson. This could be interesting. Taking his time over it. Not sure if he's ever had an attempt before. I don't think he's very sure on how to move in. Strikes it! Oh, straight over the black top. Take him out, Danesar. Yusuf Danesar. And that's full time here at St Mary's. Big thank you to Dave Wild for joining me in commentary. I'm Dan McCamley. Make sure you stay tuned to Bar TV Sports. We've got Hong Kong versus Poland coming up next.